So we got all kinds of new arm wrestlers out there right now, thanks to Armbet. You guys are all training hard and stuff, and training for arm wrestling is a little bit unique, and I just want to give you guys a little bit of guidance when you're doing your training, doing some training. What made me think of that the other day is a video I watched someone using a WristBall, and I made this version of myself. You can get on YouTube Monkeyfist, and some different paracord. Not even make one for yourself. It cost me like 10 bucks to make or something. And so, what had me thinking about this is I was watching someone do some exercises, some top row exercises, and they were holding it like this and pronating. And that's the wrong way to arm wrestle, is to squeeze with your fingers right there, especially if you're an outside puller, because that leaves you susceptible to being top row. So, got me thinking about some things to think about when you are working your pronation. So, the belt, I think a belt is the easiest thing anyone can use when you're working your pronation. You know, you can stick it over your wrist like this when you're, and you can work like an attacking top row, a low hand top row. You can stick it over your knuckle, and you can work like you're defending a top row. But the problem with this is the fulcrum. Where the pressure comes, it leaves really fast. As this turns over, the pressure drops dramatically. And that's not really how it is when you're arm wrestling. Usually the more you rotate, the more pressure you feel to that point where it breaks. So, listening to a video Devon made and some conversations I've had with John Brzenk, they both mentioned something about that fulcrum themselves in training. And so, here's one thing you could do to create a fulcrum is you just need, it doesn't have to be a pipe. You can put, anything, you can put a rag, anything here, under here to create this fulcrum, but you want to try and create something that's going to be consistent, that you can go back and do the exact same way time and time again, so you can kind of track your progress. But this creates a fulcrum, so there's resistance through the full range
rotation
of that rotation, right? And that's kind of what I did here with this Monkeyfist, is I made it really fat right here, so that when it's rotating, it has a fulcrum to work against. Now, speaking of this Monkeyfist, they're great. Or not, I mean, I'm going to call it a wrist ball, because that's kind of what...
A what?
A wrist ball. That's what most people are going to know it as on YouTube for the arm wrestling world. So how I believe you should use this if you're working like your pronation is you need to grip this thing with the inside of your hand like this, and learn to use this pocket to hold. And it needs to be down here.
Stop real quick.
It needs to be down here in the bottom of your hand, where you're naturally going to have the most trouble
Gripping.
You know, containing someone.
Okay.
And you know you're going to rotate. But there's something to understand about when you're working your rotation, is this muscle I'm using right here is only one tiny angle and tiny motion of a compound movement
vector
I'm going to be doing if I'm actually top rolling, right?
Right.
And so this is a mistake I made myself, and this is something I feel in a lot of you new guys, is you'll find an exercise and you kill it, and you'll get stronger in that exercise. And usually what I feel it is the cup. Guys work their cup to death, and I haven't seen them in a while, and I'll grab them and I can feel their cup strength so great, but as soon as you apply any other type of pressure, their cup goes away, because they've only practiced it in this one lane, and they've practiced it so much that they've taught themselves to arm wrestle that way. So when you're doing these different exercises, you need to keep conscious of how that little movement is translating and not build a habit of that is how you arm wrestle, like you exercise. The exercise should be an auxiliary to your arm wrestling. It shouldn't be how you teach yourself to arm wrestle, which is really easy to do. Most of them are easy to use. You just have to keep, like, you know, this right here mimics me being able to contain someone and rotating through their thumb, but really the thumb is just going to be kind of the secondary place you want to attack. In a low hand top roll, for instance, the main point of attack is going to be your wrist, and this is what this simulates a little bit. Neither of them actually simulates a top roll.
But that fulcrum.
It's something you can use to work your muscles in that angle to keep conditioned for recovery and stuff like that. But you just have to be careful that you don't teach yourself to arm wrestle the way you exercise, especially when you're learning how to arm wrestle. It's a very easy thing to do. And it takes something like 300 reps to learn something and like 3,000 reps to unlearn it and relearn that same movement. So just keep that in mind and be patient. I know it takes time, but